beautiful people, I have another haul for you. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Most of these books are going to be books that I purchased between mid-February until now, because I already did a haul in one of my other videos. Now this is a different haul, so different. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a semi-order of what I have. Yeah. Lord, I'm really trying to figure out this camera situation because sitting on the floor is not as comfortable as people make it seem. So, all right, have books everywhere on the floor, and I'm gonna start off with middle grade. I have a few things. First things first that I want to talk about is Justin A. Reynolds. We have two signed editions that we got from the North Texas Teen Book Festival. Both are signed and autographed to me and my daughter. These were given out. When we went and had him sign it, he gave us 2 free books with our name on it and autographed and personalized to us. These come out April 5th of this year. I would look forward to reading this. It says, "It's the End of the World and I'm in My Bathing Suit" by Justin A. Reynolds. Finally, a book that dares to answer the long answered question, what happens if you have to spend the apocalypse stuck in your bathing suit? I don't know. What do? Hopefully go swimming in your house, right? Hopefully. If you're in your bathing suit, like, why would there be an apocalypse and you're in your bathing suit? Why would that happen? I don't know. Next thing is this comes out in May of this year. This is by Dhonielle Clayton, The Marvelers. This was also given out for free at the North Texas Teen Book Festival, and they gave away a lot of middle grades, so I got this one. This one, let me see if I can find a synopsis. 11-year-old Ella Duran is the first conjurer to attend Arcanium Training Institute, a magical school in the clouds where marvelers from all around the world practice their cultural arts, like brewing Indian spice elixirs and bartending with pesky Irish pixies. So this one is Conjure, which, if you don't know, look it up. Okay, so let's see. The next one, I'm really interested in that because I just read Conjure Women and Root Magic. Root Magic is also a middle grade, and I loved it, and it was about conjure. So the next one I have is Hope Wins, a collection inspiring stories for young adults, and this also comes out in May of 2022. Again, got it from the festival. I apologize. I have my windows open, so it's really bright in here. Then I have another ARC from the same festival. This one is Apple Crush. Jen wants to make a friend. All right. Jen is still getting used to life on a farm with her stepsisters, Andy and Reese. Now she has to navigate a new job in new school. At least she'll have Andy on her side, right? Maybe. I guess. So this one is Apple Crush. It is a graphic novel. So this is one that you got to pick at a table, and my daughter picked this one. The next one I purchased at the festival. This is a graphic novel based on the best-selling Descendants novel. It's called The Isle of Lost. And I just want to pause real quick and show you the signature real quick, because that is the coolest thing. I love that. Look at the glasses. I love that. But this is a graphic novel that my daughter picked out that she wanted. And so, yeah. Anything to get the kids to read, right? But it looks really cool. So, not sure what this is about. It says, 20 years ago, all the evil villains were banished from the kingdom of Aroidin to the Isles of the Lost, a dark and dreary place protected by a force field that makes it impossible for them to leave. Oh, okay. I need to get some lotion. Y'all not gonna tell me I'm ashy? Oh, I'm trying to hurry up and get through these books because I have a unboxing to do with all my UK editions, and that's gonna be like a lot. So the next book I got from the festival, and I believe the last middle grade book that we got from the festival is The Lost Dreamer. Now this just came out. I believe it came out on the 1st. This is what the cover looks like. Beautiful. When the author was talking about it, she was talking about how when she wanted to write a book about a magical system, she wanted to make sure that she was being conscious of, you know, people's beliefs that we are using right now. So this one is definitely, the magical system is based off of like ancestors and different things like that. I believe it's in the setting of Mexico. They're seers, and it looks like a beloved king dies, his son and heir has no respect for their time-honored traditions. So it says, to a dream seek the story within. I'm not sure. I want to read it. I cannot wait to read it. It looks like that the main POV is a dreamer. She's not just a seer, she's a dreamer, and she's never been trained. It looks like her mother abuses that gift. And it says, passes it off as her own as she travels from village to village, never staying in one place too long, almost as if they're running from something, almost as if they're being hunted. When Saya loses the necklace she has worn since birth, she discovers that seeing is not her only gift, and begins to suspect that everything that she has known about her life has actually been carefully constructed, a constructed lie. Say less. I'm going to check the content warnings. I'm sure I'll be fine, but like mother abusing powers and kids, I want to know. I want to read it because when she was talking about it, I was like, you don't say nothing else. Don't say nothing. It is signed and it is autographed to me. It's autographed to me and my daughter. So, super cool. The author was amazing. I loved her energy. I loved listening to her talk on the panel. So, yeah. The next book I got from Ollie's, this is called When the Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jamieson and Omar Mohammed. This is a hard-hitting book, but it's chunky. For a graphic novel, this is a very chunky book that me and my daughter are reading. We started the first 5 pages, but the synopsis says, refugee camps are supposed to be a temporary place to stay until it's safe to go back home. I guess no one expected the war to last this long, though, because Hassan and I have been living here for 7 years. And it looks like he has an opportunity to go to school, but he's going to leave his nonverbal brother with special needs alone, and he doesn't want to do that. So I'm interested to see what, this is the cover. I'm interested to see what happens and develops with this. But 7 years in a refugee camp, I believe it. Unfortunately, I think that is just devastating. All right, I'm moving kind of fast because I got a lot more books and I cannot wait to talk about the fantasy books. The other book that I have purchased was Ciara and Russell Wilson, The Sky's the Limit, and it says The Sky's the Limit, and it says Why Not You? And this was just released, I want to say end of February. It was just released. Now, this book is amazing. My daughter read it in one sitting in the car, did not even get to take it home, dust it off, sanitize it down, no, nothing. Okay, she took it out the bag and she was just reading, and it was really inspiring. I would say that, just like a lot of children's books, but what I loved about this is the diversity, not just the main characters in the illustrations being of color, but literally there are people with disabilities, there are people of different nationalities, different hair textures, just different bodies. And look, My daughter ripped it already. Well, but alrighty. That makes me cringe a little bit, but you know, it is meant to be read and loved. And I think Ciara and Russell and the author or the illustrator did an amazing job at like motivating and just inspiring within just a few sentences on each page. So I love this. This is definitely a good book that I recommend for sure. It says, why not you? Amazing you. You're a winner. You're so strong. And you are perfect and important. You and all your gifts belong. Absolutely. The next book I have is I Am Jazz. Now, this is a very controversial book because it is on a lot of the ban list, almost all of them, for books that they do not want people to talk about. Now, Bookish Realm have talked about this book. Ashley from Bookish Realm, she has talked about this book and mentioned it when she goes over the banned book list. And this, to me, is a great book, great starter of that conversation to have with kids. I loved this book. It's talking to kids about different things it's not necessarily easy, but I think that for me as a mom, it's not about it being easy or uncomfortable. It's that this needs to happen at some point, right? And that's how I look at this type of conversation when we're talking about books like I Am Jazz or anything with the LGBTQIA plus community. It just needs to happen. And this was a great starter on, I just purchased this week, but this was a great starter to have those open conversations because my daughter will see people in her school being like Jazz, where they're wearing different clothes, they're wearing purses and stuff like that. And I love the fact that my school that I work at is fairly open, and we are a safe school, we are a safe space, and we have not changed that with everything going on. But this was an amazing book to have those conversations. And my daughter was like, well, just be who you want to be. And I'm like, yes, be like Jazz. Like, Jazz wants to wear mermaid tails. Like, that is perfectly fine. But if you're struggling as a parent to read and to have those conversations, a book like this is an amazing start to be able to open that dialogue to have those type of conversations. So I highly recommend this book. And I just purchased this week. And I love it. I love it. Hands down. 5 out of 5 stars. 10 out of 5 stars, if that's possible. I don't know. But I loved it. The next book we're going to talk about is Black Boy Joy. And this is by Kwame Mbalia. I know his name is Kwame. I'm not even going to butcher his name. This is the author that makes Tristan Strong. If you have not read Tristan Strong, highly recommended. Highly, highly, highly recommended. Now, this I did get from the festival, the Teen Book Festival. And it is customized and signed for my daughter. These are the authors that also contributed to the short stories. Absolutely. Like, this book, look at this face. You cannot tell me that does not radiate joy. I love it. So it says, make joy your superpower with stories, comics, and poems to celebrate Black boyhood. I have Justin A. Reynolds' signature in here, and I also have Kwame's signature in here. So this is definitely one that is going to be like right here on my shelves. Even though it's not dedicated to me, I might just leave it on there. All right, moving on to something different. I'm so sorry for the glare. My windows are open. Let's do some YA. Now, I just bought this book this week. It is The Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. This book, I heard nothing but great things about it. And has been placed on recent ban lists, unfortunately. Now, I don't know what the book is about. Oh, it says, America in 1954 is not a safe space for two girls to fall in love. Red Scare, paranoia threatens everyone, including Chinese Americans like Lily. With deportation looming over her father, Lily and Kath risk everything for love. But I hear nothing but great things about this book, and I'm so excited to read it. Definitely, I do not have an active TBR this month, but if I can get around to it, I definitely will. That sounds amazing. The other book that I got when I purchased the last book was Malice. Now, this book, it was buy one, get one 50% off, honestly. And I saw this on TikTok. Have no idea what it's about. It says a princess isn't supposed to fall for an evil sorcerer. But in this darkly magical retelling of Sleeping Beauty, true love is more than a simple fairy tale. Okay, so the next book that I have is by V.E. Schwab. This is Gallant. I actually accidentally have two copies. One I bought from Barnes & Nobles. The other one I bought from the book festival. And this one is actually signed. And so I'm so excited to actually have one of her books. I read Addie LaRue, but did not read anything else of hers at all. Addie LaRue was great, but it wasn't a 5-star for me. It says, the shadows are not real. The dreams can never hurt you. You will be safe as long as you stay away from the Gallant. Everything casts a shadow, even the world we live in. Okay. I want to talk about some books that I picked up from, okay. I want to talk about some books that I picked up from Ollie's bargain bookstore. The first one is Enchantee. It says, magic is a cheater's game, and everyone who sees it wants to play. It's not this title anymore. I guess the series, the duology is called Enchantee or Enchantee, 2 E's. Enchantee. So the series called Enchantee, but the book itself is like all about something, or I'm not sure. I'll try to leave it linked below. But I got this one from Ollie's bargain bookstore, which when I was thrifting, I saw it. It says Love Magic Revolution. And I love a good magic system, so hopefully it's really good. So, looking forward to that. The next book that I got, also from Ollie's, is The Storm Crow. It says, a rider will rise, a rebellion will begin. This is by Kaylin Josephson, and this is what the book looks like. I've seen this on YouTube before. I don't know. I know I've seen it on Instagram. I've seen it on BookTube. I've seen it a couple of places. And so this was $2, and so I decided to get it. Am I going to read it? I don't know. I hope so. Eventually. Hope so. The next book, and I have no idea what this genre is. I don't think it's YA. I think this is more historical. This is by Jennifer Weiner. And it's Miss Everything. And I have no idea what it's about, but it was on clearance, and I went ahead and got it. It says Miss Everything. I think it's mostly historical. Growing up in 1950, they live a perfect Dick and Jane house where the roles as a family are clearly defined. Joel is a tomboy and the bookish rebel with a passion for making the world fair. Bethy is pretty, a feminine good girl, and a feminine good girl, a would-be star who enjoys power her beauty confers in her dream of a traditional life. So about 2 siblings. It sounds like me in my life. The next book that I got was from the Annex section in Barnes & Nobles. This is Mom and Me and Mom by Maya Angelou. This book, I look forward to actually reading it. I love her work. Truly, truly inspirational, and just the thought of her when she was here, and her words are so magical. And so I think this is nothing to do with poems or anything like that, but the synopsis says, my mother's gift of courage to me were both large and small. The latter of the woven so subtle into the fabric of my psyche that I can hardly distinguish where she stops and I begin. I am here. I brought my whole self to you. I am your mother. And that is what the back looks like. I love Maya Angelou's work. She is truly amazing. The next YA that I have just released this week or this month and is Blood Scion. What I do know, I hear nothing but great things. Nothing but great things. And I know this is kind of blown up on Instagram recently because it was just released. It says, let's see. I am descendant of Shango, the god of heat and fire. I am living in inferno. I am a dead girl walking. And the back says, this is what they deserve. They wanted me to be a monster. I will be the worst monster they ever create. I love a good Orisha story. If you like anything Orisha like I do, I love reading about Orishas and how they tie into the magical system. Like Skin of the Sea, amazing. Amazing. So I look forward to reading that because that is definitely getting read this month for sure. All right, so a little bit more. I'm kind of flying through these. I'm trying. Okay, so the next book I have that I purchased was The Serpent's Curse by Lisa Maxwell. Now, I read The Last Musician and I loved it. I don't know if I gave it 4 stars or 5 stars. I don't recall, but I loved the book. It was a blend between historical, time-jumping magic. The part even in the book where, this girl was going back into the past to steal certain things, and I'm like, a big plot twist at the end, and I have not gone back to the second book. But the third book finally came out in paperback, and this is what I wanted. I actually got it like a month early, or 2 weeks early before it came out in paperback, and I'm so glad that I did. So now my full set is in paperback, just the way I like it. But I look forward to reading this. I heard it's not as good as the first 2, but we shall see. It's definitely way bigger than the first 2, so I just want to read it. I just want to get back into that system and like figure out what happened with the characters, because there was a big plot twist at the end of the first one. The next book I have is The Binding by Bridget Collins. This one is about bookbinding, and it says, imagine you could hide a secret forever. Life as Monet sold me on this book, and I bought the other book by Bridget Collins that she wrote before this one. I got it in special edition from Waterstone, so it's supposed to be on its way here. But it says, Emmett Farmer is a binder apprentice. His job is to handcraft beautiful books, and within each to capture something unique and extraordinary, a memory. Sold? If you have something that you want to forget or a secret to hide, he can bind it. So I guess he finds a book with his name on it, and it's stored in the basement with all the other books and memories. Sold. It sounds so interesting. The next book I have is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I am so sorry. But the next book I have is The City of Brass. I hear nothing but great things. I am so glad this comes in a paperback because I've seen the books. And it's a tall paperback, which I absolutely love. But I am going in blind. I don't want to read the synopsis on this one because I hear nothing but great things. A lot of recommendations come from this book. I've seen it on TikTok and BookTube and all types of places. So I'm just going to set that aside and hopefully get to it sometime soon. Moving on, the book that I have next is The Conductor by Nicole Glover. Now, just the cover. The magical system. Look at that. Look, this seems like a historical magic system type of deal. I'm not really sure. I know there's potentially a thrill to it, but I don't know anything else. So it says, from a bold new voice comes a vibrant story of magic, murder, and the aftermath of a civil war. So I heard the second book isn't as good, but I don't want to judge a book by its cover, and reading is subjective. So moving on. The next book I have is The Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. This was recommended, and I actually bought this book not because I wanted to read it, but because Princess from Castle Library bought it, and I was like, I'll buy it too. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll buy it too. Since you just buying books left to right, she has great recommendations, and I don't think that we've ever disliked a book that she loved. So if she recommends it, I'm gonna get it. But the cover itself just looks phenomenal. It says, "No man is above the law." From a major new voice and epic fantasy, Justice of Kings introduces Sir Conrad Van Volt, an Empire's justice, who is a detective, judge, and executioner all in one. But these are dangerous times to be a justice. Okay, so even he's not above the law. So that is this one by Richard Swan. The next books I want to get to is a thriller, horror books, mystery, all of that jazz. Let me go through my book of the month that I picked out for this month is Lucy Foley, The Paris Apartment. Okay, it says, Jess needs a fresh start. She's broke and alone, and she just left her job under the less than ideal circumstances. Her half-brother Ben didn't sound thrilled when she asked if she could crash with him for a bit, but he didn't say no, and surely everything will look better from Paris. Only when she shows up and finds a very nice apartment, could Ben really have afforded this? He's not there. So I look forward to reading this, and I know Books with Lala, this is her book that she's reading for the month, so that should be interesting, reading that. The next book that I got from Book of the Month is The Cartographers by Peng Shepherd. Don't know anything about this, but the category it was in, I was like, gotta support that, need that. It says, what is the purpose of a map? Neil Young's whole life and greatest passion is cartography. Her father, Dr. Daniel Young, is a legend in the field and Neil's personal hero, but she hasn't seen or spoken to him since he cruelly fired her destroyed her reputation over an argument over an old, cheap gas station highway map. Okay, that's what we do. I want to know. I'm intrigued. And this is the cover. It's beautiful, and I love that. Next book that I got from Book of the Month is The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James, and it looks like this. And I'm so excited to get through this. So, some crimes come back to haunt you. A true crime blogger gets more than she is bargained for while interviewing a woman who is acquitted of 2 cold cases slayings in a chilling new novel by bestseller author of Sundown Motel. And that sounds interesting. Gets more than she bargained for it. Okay. True crime blogger. What happens? I want to know. Still got some more books, but they haven't come. So at the end of this video, I will go ahead and tell you what I've also ordered, but it's not here yet. The next book that I got is The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum. Hopefully that's right. Looks like, let's see, a pivoting page turner about a black classical musician desperate quest to recover his lost violin on the eve of his most prestigious musical competition in the world. Someone took the violin? Growing up black in rural North Carolina, Ray McMillan's life is already mapped out. If he's lucky, he'll get a job at a hospital cafeteria. If he's extra lucky, he'll earn more than minimum wage. And then someone steals his violin, and he has to go track it down. Okay, look at this cover. Look at the Sorry for the glare, because that's just my window. I'm so excited to read this because it sounds phenomenal. The next book I have is from Claire McIntosh, and this is Hostage. This book was just released this month, and I'm excited to actually be able to read this because it's giving me The Falling vibes by T.J. Newman. And it says you can save hundreds of lives or the one that matters the most. Jaw-dropping twist. It looks like it's something to do with crashing a plane and saving someone who's not on the plane potentially. I'm not sure. What I do know is that I like The Falling by T.J. Newman, and this one I love as well. I already feel like I'm gonna love it. If you don't like thrillers, I'm sorry, but this sounds really interesting, really fun, and a quick read because it's not that many pages at all. 321 pages. So this will be a quick read, and I'm looking forward to actually reading it. The next book I have is All Is Well by Mona Awad. I hope I didn't butcher that. I'm sure I did, like I do everything else. This was 50% off still, and I just bought this last week. So I know that she wrote The Bunny, and this was on the top 10 or top 15 of the Goodreads Choice Awards for horror. So I am interested in reading that. I'm not sure if I was able to squeeze this into my last book haul that I did, but I got Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Marina Garcia, and I loved reading her Gods of Jade and Shadow, and I am really looking forward to this. It sounds like it's going to be a good time. So, love that. I also got another book by Sylvia Marina Garcia. This is Certain Dark Things. I know that this did a whole change with the cover and whatnot, but this was in the horror section. So, I already love her writing. It is also set in Mexico. I think it's going to be a good time. So, this looks futuristic and sci-fi. But from my understanding, there's vampires in here. There's different other characters and some murders happening. So I really, really look forward to reading this as well. Okay, so the first book that I have is by Tanana Reeve Dew and My Soul to Keep. Now, this is book 1 out of 4. And I was able to find this at my local Barnes & Nobles. It is horror. If you don't like horror, definitely don't recommend. But it is blurred by Stephen King. This was one of her first novels, I believe. And I'm really looking forward to it. I also have one more book by her that I just got in the mail yesterday. And this is The Good House. And it sounds like nothing but a good time. There's death. There's curses within the city. I don't know if this is self-published. Like, I believe these are self-published. Washington Square Press. I don't know what that is. So I think these are self-published books. And it wasn't easy to find, but I'm glad I found it. And look at this cover. Stunning, okay? Probably an underrated book, but I look forward to reading it. It sounds like it's going to be a good time with nothing but a curse on a family, a curse on a house, a curse on, the whole community. It sounds like it's going to be a good time. Now, this does have 3 other books, which I do plan on getting, but I want to read the first one first and see if I like it, so yeah. Hello, this is Editing Bree in the future. I forgot to mention the books that I ordered from Book of the Month, which hasn't arrived quite yet. It is Tell Me Everything by Erica Krause, and I'll go ahead and insert a picture. I also purchased Hunger by Roxane Gay, and Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. I hope you really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for sticking with me and reviewing the new books that I have. I hope you enjoyed this video, and go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.